Welcome back. Thank you for joining the show today. We have three distinguished guests here that are taking on a project. It's a needed project. It's not for the people here in Harrison, Arkansas or the surrounding areas. It's for people in Puerto Rico. And I want to introduce to you Sheriff Mike Moore, Glen Redding, and Tom Smith. Welcome to the show, guys. Now, I heard about this actually through Troy Burleson, who is at this moment down in Puerto Rico. And y'all all know
Yes.
Troy.
Yes.
And so explain to me what he does. And Glenn, you probably ought to talk about that because you're a part of this MIB. And what is the MIB?
MIB is Men in Black, and it's actually Troy Burleson's company that he put together during Katrina. And he was called by a dialysis company that said, the police are all tied up. We have to have some type of security here. We need help. So Troy loaded up a bunch of policemen and went down there. And they took their vacation time and went ahead and went down there and worked for that company to secure it so people could have dialysis. The hospitals would have been overwhelmed if they weren't able to treat enough people at the dialysis companies. So Fresenius Medical Care was able to keep their offices open and running and treat patients. So they brought in nurses from all over the United States and added staff to take on extra patients that the other companies couldn't even take. So that's been going on since Katrina, and Troy and myself over the last 10 or 12 years have been to about every hurricane they've had. We've went to Sandy in New York and New Jersey. We've been to hurricane just recently to Houston on Harvey, and then we went down to Miami. But about every hurricane where there's been damage or a threat to a dialysis clinic, we go. And then
So is it the same company that asked you to go?
Yes, it's always,
okay.
yeah. Fresenius Medical Care, he worked out a deal with them years ago, and we continue to provide security for them so their nurses can get there safe, the patients can get there safe, that make sure that the generators aren't stolen, make sure they have gas and water, and that way they can continue to give dialysis, which is, of course, something they have to have.
And that's something you don't think about. You don't think about the security aspect. When it's in a devastated area like that, all of a sudden you can't just walk freely down the streets if you're going to provide medical care or whatever's needed.
Well, and the police can't even respond. They're so busy with other crises in the area that a lot of things get neglected. So we're providing that for the nurses, the doctors, and the patients. We call on sheriffs and chiefs of police from all over the area. Right now we have 35 officers there 24 hours a day in Puerto Rico. There's 26 dialysis companies, 26 Fresenius clinics that are open out of 29. There's 5 that were damaged real bad, 2 cannot be repaired, and the other 3, although they're damaged, they're still running dialysis through it. And then the sheriff called me a couple weeks ago and said, hey, what can we do to help?
Okay.
Mike?
Well, and I can't really take credit for that. I had a lady at church ask me on a Wednesday night, said, is there anything we can do to help the folks in Puerto Rico? Maybe some water. And I said, I don't know. But I know a guy who would know. So I called Glenn. Glenn said, I don't know. I'll call a guy who does know. So he called Troy. And Troy said, yes, we're desperate for water. It's critical right now. And so I said, okay, we'll try to get you some water. So I'm thinking, get a pallet or 2 sitting down there. So I call, me and Glenn are talking about trying to get water there. I call Bill Lovell out Main Street. And I said, hey, I need some water. How much water do you have? He said, well, I've got a pallet. I said, well, I'll take it. I said, can you get me another pallet? He said, I think I can get you another pallet. So I have 2 pallets ready to go. Talked to Glenn, and Glenn says, well, I've got a cargo plane in Florida that will take the water to Puerto Rico for us for free, and we've got room for 27 pallets. So I called. The challenge was on. I called Bill back, and I said, I need some more water. And he said, how much? I said, how about 27 pallets? And he about had a cow, and but he found us the water. And Tom and I worked with Ron Moore. Ron had a forklift at his place. We didn't know where to take it because that was an issue.
Right.
So Ron Moore said, yeah, bring it out here. I'll take it. I got a forklift. I'll take it off for you and hold it till someone can pick it up. So we had a cargo plane going from Florida to Puerto Rico for free. We had 27 pallets of water coming that we hadn't paid for, and but that was taken care of. So we had to find a way to pay for it and a way to get it from here to Florida. So we called FedEx, and FedEx jumped through a lot of hoops very quickly for us. And they said, we will take this water to Florida for you. And I said, well, the other thing is we got to have it there by Saturday. And they said, we can do that. And that's the other thing. I've got 27 pallets at 2,200 pounds apiece. They said, we can do that.
Good for them.
So everything worked out. So the last thing was raising money to pay for the water.
Right.
And this morning, that was like 3 days ago when we started doing this. This morning I got the last check. It was just under $5,000 total to pay for all 26 pallets of water. Now since then, I've received almost another $3,000 to go toward another shipment. And so I talked to Glenn this morning and I said, okay, you need to find us a cargo plane again that will take this to Puerto Rico. And this time we're going to try to buy the water in Orlando area. We have some folks down there that or Glenn has some folks down there. And to see if we can buy it there so it'll eliminate having to ship it from here to Florida and put it on a plane and hopefully get these folks some good water. Now the water is going to the Fresenius kidney clinics for employees, patients, security staff.
The patients' families that don't have water.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of that. I know that company, and I know a lot of this water is going to get into the hands also of just people who need it.
Sure.
The nice thing about our water that's going to Puerto Rico, it gets to Puerto Rico in the cargo plane, and at the airport, one of Troy's trucks is going to back up and load it on their trucks and take it directly to the clinics. It's not going to sit in a port.
Right.
It's not going to
Oh my
sit
gosh,
in a
yeah.
warehouse somewhere waiting to be dispersed. It's going to be immediate. So the folks that have donated, I know everybody knows that we live in a great community. It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
What they've done to come together to help these folks is unbelievable.
Well, and it's not so much who you are, but what you can do. You're just a facilitator of helping people.
Yeah, I just kind of fell into it by accident.
Yeah.
One lady says, "Can we help send some water?" And one thing led to another,
Yeah.
and it's just
And it's a team. You're not doing it alone, and you're not doing it alone. You're really getting everybody.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
and it shows what community can do in a small town as this.
See, working with Fresenius Medical Care over the years, I know that they have resources that we can call on. So when the sheriff called me about a plane, I said, let me call them. And I called Fresenius Medical Care, and I said, do you have a cargo plane that you're putting medical supplies on that we could maybe get some water on? They said, how much? I said, 26, 27 pallets. And they said, if you get it here, we'll get it to them. So now I'm working on getting them to do it again the following week and trying to make purchases down there. It's going to their warehouse from here, and then from their warehouse, they've got people that'll ship it to the airport and get it on a plane. So we're all working together.
We've mentioned that the community helps. Can the community help with purchase of the water, even if it's like Orlando based or whatever?
Yes.
I mean, and how would that happen?
Well, what we have done for the last few days is people have been writing checks to the Boone County Sheriff Reserve Association, which is a 501c3. And what we do in turn, we take the Reserve Association, writes a check for the money and puts it on a truck or somewhere to get it to Florida. That was round one, and it worked perfect, and we got enough money to pay for the first load. Second load, we're going to try to buy it in Florida.
Right.
And so what we'll do is the same thing. They can send money to us to checks made out to Boone County Sheriff Reserve Association. We'll send them a receipt, and then we'll take that money, purchase water in Florida, and ship it on round
It's
two.
really quite simple. You just got to write a check.
You know, well,
From our
actually,
end.
and people wanted to donate a 6-pack of water or a case, but the people that it takes to package that up and wrap it up and ship it, this is the best, quickest way to get it to Puerto Rico is to send $2 for a case of water. You know, if they send $2 for a case of water and that adds up, we can buy pallets, and then it's already boxed up, ready to ship. When we get it, it goes right on the plane and right to Puerto Rico, and we've got people there to unload the plane and get it to the people that need it.
And 100% of it goes toward water. It's not going toward fuel. It's not going toward staffing.
No administration fees or anything
It's,
like that.
it is
It's all
purchasing
water.
water. And that is such an essential need there, such an essential service, the kidney dialysis clinics. I mean, people will die, as
Right.
a lot of folks know, if they don't receive their care. And so if you want to have an impact and you want your money to directly go to an essential need, a life-saving effort, this is a good effort.
Yeah.
And Mike knows because he was in Houston with us. He came to Houston and we were working in Houston and Miami and he has saw some of those clinics and knows how they operate. So
It's all good. Tom, I didn't
What are
want
you
to leave
doing?
I
What
didn't
are
want
you
to
doing,
leave you
Tom?
out.
Well, I just
Tom's
like
going to sing karaoke.
I just like to kind of what the sheriff said about how amazing this community is, and I've been here my entire life, and it's just amazing. I was getting calls at home in regard to people wanting to give money when this all first started, and it just makes me so proud to be Boone County guy.
Yeah,
and
good.
It's a great deal, and these guys are doing a wonderful thing.
Yeah. And how long is it going to be the need for this one mission?
Yeah.
It could be months.
Yeah.
I mean, I suspect it will be months.
They've got 20 to 30% of the power up in Puerto Rico, but Troy said they had 6 guys on one pole and 8 on another the other night when he was driving through there, and that's just 2 poles. He said there's thousands of power poles laying beside the
Wow.
road. He said it may be 6 months to a year. We don't know for sure. You know, gas has opened up a little bit, but now they're expecting these companies to get their own private gas. FEMA's going to quit delivering gas or helping us with it. So,
Yeah.
so now we've had to hire a company out of another state to bring in gas tankers and bring in fuel so we can keep the
Wow.
generators going,
Yeah.
or Fresenius had. And so that's our main concern right now, is that the people get clean water, they continue to get gas, and they're safe in what they're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Well, keep up the good work, guys. Let us
Yes,
know.
definitely.
I'll follow you guys, see what you're doing. And you got to get out of here, don't you? Got to go to Bergman.
I don't know. I'm pretty relaxed right
Okay,
here.
well, good. Stay here.
Pretty nice.
Let me go to Bergman. You can,
Okay.
you can do this.
All right.
I'm sure you can do a lot better than I can. Thanks so much, guys, and
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thanks for having us on.
And being a part of a project that's not only rewarding, but I'm sure it's got some kind of fun out of it, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, thank you.
Up next, we're going to talk with Spree Hilliard from the North Arkansas Regional Medical Center. We'll talk to her and find out what's going on there. Stay with us.